Dortmund.
Hi, hello, and welcome to another season, another episode with my main man Vijay. Hey, how you doing, man?
How's it going, Valley? I am very well, man. I'm so excited for the new season to start. Yeah, it's been a long wait for us, but we're happy that football's back.
All right, and now we're going to talk about the transfer window, and of course, we're going to each rate what we think of what our teams have done in this transfer window. Some more transfer news, so let's get into it. Vijay, Chelsea has been having a great transfer window for the last probably two or three windows. What do you think about Chelsea's window this season so far?
Yeah, I think our shopping started in Jan. I think where we got in loads of players, but I think the key for us this time was to get rid of the
Hmm.
players who don't sort of belong or other part of Poch's plans,
Yeah.
or the club's plans in the future. So, I mean, we will come to Arsenal, but we've actually sold quite our good players to our direct rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm very excited for the people who have come in. Like Nkunku has come in, Jackson has come in. We've got a very young squad now. And we've got a manager who has very good experience in the Premier League, right? In
Yes.
Mauricio Pochettino. So I'm really excited. I feel that our season this time around is going to be much better than obviously last year. So yeah, I'm excited. I think I'm really looking forward to seeing Nkunku. Unfortunately, he got injured in that game against Dortmund. These things happen.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal also are in a similar situation with their striker, so
Yeah.
can't really help it part of the game. But I'm really excited for this season. Yep.
Yeah. And what
What
what would
about
you
you?
what would you
Yeah,
rate your Chelsea season like out of 10 like so far so not the season the transfer market.
the transfers.
I know we still have time. We
Uh,
have around 3 weeks left
yeah,
for the window to close. This time it's closing on the 1st of September. But what do you rate
yeah.
it so far?
Um, well, it's been good. It's not been great. I know that there are a few, especially a midfield, right? So we've let Kante go, we've let Koa go. So there is a gap to be filled there, but I would say around 7.5 so far.
Wow.
Yeah,
And also read another stat about Chelsea because last year Arsenal were one of the youngest sides in the world, and I think right now Chelsea is the youngest side I think in the world in football in terms of the age.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think that's going to be quite interesting for me. I think what Chelsea did better than signing players was, like you said, letting a lot of these players leave and move
yeah.
on. And I think that cleanup was necessary. Now, how much does
True.
it pay? Only the season will tell.
Yeah.
But thanks. Yeah, I think 7.5. If I were from an outsider's perspective rating it at this point, I think it's fair.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, I know you were chasing a few players for quite some time, and we saw that towards the end of last season,
Yeah.
your thin squad actually sort of cost you the Premier League. So, what is your thoughts on Arsenal's transfer window?
Rice, baby.
You
Well,
got him finally.
we finally got him, and I think I couldn't believe, as an Arsenal fan, you're so trained to disappointment. Even if you take in last year's season, you for the last say 15 years, you're only trained to be disappointed. Either you're not getting Champions League, or you're just missing out on a FA Cup, or you're just missing out on the Europa Cup to some people over here on the uh, or like last year, you just missed out on winning the Premier League
Yeah.
for when you lead 85% of the time.
Yeah.
So with Rice, I mean, there was a lot of rumors. Everyone was quite confident that Arsenal would sign him. But just knowing Arsenal's history and the number of players, we could have got Mbappe at one point of time. We could have got Ronaldo at one point in time. We could have got Messi at one point in time. I mean, you always hear these, oh, Arsenal, if they had to sign this guy when he was in his mother's womb, he would have been an Arsenal player today. But it never happens.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it was a refreshing change. I think
Mhm.
he and Timber, who we signed from Ajax, I think excellent signing. I think Timber right now ranks number one for me in the signings because of what he brings to the defense. Like you mentioned, we thinned out in the end, and one of the areas where we lacked was defense, where we were not really strong enough because once Saliba
Yeah,
was injured,
Saliba was out.
we
Yep.
were relying on Rob Holding, who, frankly enough, as good as he's been for this club, he's like a third option for us. So he's
Yeah.
not someone who you would want to rely on. We had Partey injured
True.
last year, and then Mohamed El Neni came in and he got injured. So the defensive side of it was quite weakened, and I think by adding Timber there, Kivior came in January as well. Two really
Yeah.
strong players who can fit into Arteta's style of moving players around, so people who can play in 2 3 different positions, like we've seen that with Ben White last season,
Yeah.
moving,
Yeah. Yeah.
transitioning from a central
Right.
back to a right back. So
Right back. Yeah.
I would say I'm a little bit underwhelmed with the overall transfer window for Arsenal so far. We just made the 3 signings. Of course, we've let go of people like Pablo Mari and Shaka, but I don't think so. It's really had the impact that we want to have. I think there's one pain point which a lot of Arsenal fans are discussing right now is always collecting this leftover trash from Chelsea. Uh, so only time will tell what Kai Havertz has to offer, but nobody's really waiting to see what happens. We've seen this with Willian, we've seen this with Petr Cech. I mean, we know this Chelsea story, like what happens here.
But what's your fascination, in getting reject from Chelsea, man? Like, I'm just trying to understand.
I don't know. I think we were trying to follow the
Like,
Chelsea
see,
model. Y'all
like,
took
like,
y'all took
like I,
Fabregas from us, who was a reject. Y'all took
yeah, yeah,
Aubameyang from us, who was a reject.
but Aubameyang was not a direct transfer, but we took Fabregas. Even Fabregas came from Barcelona, I think. Uh, but we got them and we made them into champions. Like, Fabregas won his Premier League with us. Like, come on. And
Yeah.
Kai won Champions League. Now, I mean, yeah, it's a downgrade for him to move from Chelsea to Arsenal. I mean, in terms of where Arsenal are in terms of trophies, right? Not because what the
Yeah.
club is, but
But if you look at it,
what's your expectation from him? Like, that is what I'm coming to that rather. Yeah.
if you look at it, like if he plays, if you look at the formation last year, what Arsenal played, and if he plays the role what Shaka used to play, then
Yeah.
it's a massive upgrade on Shaka, because Shaka is already 30
Mm,
plus.
yeah.
He hasn't got the highest speed. He's defensively much more better than Kai Havertz, but attackingly, maybe Kai Havertz is much more proficient than him. Secondly, I think what people are hoping to happen is that the Kai Havertz that was at Bayer Leverkusen is the one that we've sort of signed, rather than the Kai Havertz who was at Chelsea. Because Kai Havertz at Chelsea was used as a false nine, number nine,
Mm,
moved around to number 8 at times. So he didn't really have a steady sort of role in a position. And I think with Arteta, with the type of tactician that he is, the type of player coach that he is more, I think Kai Havertz could benefit from it. So I don't expect a lot from Kai Havertz, honestly. I'm not too confident that he will be used also all the time, because if you look at that mid, you've got Thomas Partey, who you cannot leave out, and we've seen that already in preseason. Without him,
yeah.
what the
Yeah.
impact is. You've got 105 million Declan Rice, who's
Yeah.
there, and then you've got Odegaard. So how
Yeah.
do you ensure that these 3 people are on the pitch and Kai Havertz?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe, like you were mentioning, with Jesus out, is that an opportunity for him? But we'll have to have a look and see what happens there.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. You can't definitely leave 100 million player out. Yeah, I thought that he would sort of cover in for Odegaard most of the times. So
Maybe,
yeah,
but I think they play on opposite sides of the pitch, so I don't think they would. I feel Fabio Vieira would switch with Odegaard more, and Kai Havertz I think it's a rotation between Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, and Emil Smith Rowe. All three could play in that same position, but in a sort of different formation and tactic. But interesting to watch. I think let's move on, and I
Yeah.
want to ask you, and then maybe even I can respond to who is your top pick signing of the season so far? Like in this transfer market, who would you rate as one of the best signings? It could be a bargain signing. It could be a crazy signing. We all know what happened last year with Haaland. Uh, for you, who's that this year so far?
Oh, good one actually. I haven't really thought much about it,
I can give you
but
mine in the meantime while you have
yeah,
a
yeah,
thought,
yeah,
thought
yeah, yeah,
about it. So for me, I didn't know. Maybe a lot. It's an unpopular opinion, but the Manchester United goalkeeper Onana that they signed, for
yeah,
me, I think he could be the starting of something new. I've said this in our chats as well. And the reason I sort of feel that he could be this top pick, a surprise signing for the Premier League, is the way he plays and then the way football is progressing. Now, all the goalkeepers are no longer those guys who sit there in between the posts
mm,
waiting for the ball to come to them. They're involved in the game a lot. You've seen certain tacticians around the world, not very popular yet, but they're pushed into the back line and almost sometimes starting the attack right from the back. So for me, his ball playing skills would be something to look out for. But I think Manchester United will have to be patient with him because he's also like an Allison, where he's going to leak in goals because of this sort of creativity. Or you see Edison in Manchester City, also similar
yeah.
player, does leak in a few goals, but that's fine if you've got a strong attack up front. For me, he's one signing that I'd definitely be interested to watch out for this season.
Yeah, I think I also would go with Onana because like you said, he is an attacking minded goalkeeper, right? They're not just there for saving goals now. And we've seen, yeah, with Edison, like he had a few assists also last season. Same with Alisson. He scored a goal, I think, a couple of years back that sort of pushed Liverpool to win that Premier League. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect, but we've seen Onana in the finals, you're right, Champions League, and only because I think it was Man City, they were able to get past Inter Milan. They're so solid throughout the
Yeah.
competition. I mean, they were in the finals, so they had to be good. So yeah, I think I'm also excited for Onana. I think Manchester United always had good goalkeepers. I mean,
Yeah.
David De Gea's exit wasn't the best,
Yeah.
but he goes out and this guy comes in. So I think he should be a very strong candidate for
All right. And I'm
pickup.
putting you a little bit in the spot, and we're going to predict who could be the biggest flop signing of the season. I've actually not had a real thought about this, who it could be. But it's always the pressure, for example, on Declan Rice, right? I think he's the most expensive player signed in the Premier League at the moment. So I think there's going to be an amount of pressure on him, and he cannot have an average season, like a good season. He has to have
Yeah,
an excellent season, and anything
exactly.
less than that would, I think, somewhere be already called a flop. Now, I'm
Yeah,
not predicting that he is going to flop, but I'm saying that's the type of pressure that players, when they sign on those type of wages, are going to come through. Um, but we've had like the likes of Anthony, last year not doing well. We've had the likes of Lukaku the previous season coming in not doing well. We've had Sancho,
Grealish,
Grealish.
Grealish's first season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many of these players being signed on but not doing well. I even saw somebody predicting when Haaland was signed last year that he's going to be a big flop, and we know how that turned out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've given a thought of who is going to be your biggest flop signing so far.
Um, I don't I mean I would again look at Rice to be a flop if he doesn't do well. Like you said it right. He comes with a lot of Premier League experience. He's English, right? So that's why probably the premium price tag as well. But yeah, I don't want him to be a flop, but yeah, if he is not pushing Arsenal from second to first this season, then it definitely is a disappointment, right? So then that is why you have spent so much money for him, because you want to go and win that Premier League, right? You want to seal that. I've spoken to a few Arsenal fans, and I mean, you also have very,
Yeah.
very high hopes this season after coming so close. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't live up to the expectation, he could be end up being the flop.
Yeah, for me, I don't know, some way, what's your player name? Nkuku? Christopher Nkuku?
And Kunku, yeah,
Nkunku. So he signed for what, 80 million, right? Yeah, so
I
that's a
remember.
big price tag. He's supposed to lead the front line. So for me, I think that's someone who I'd be watching. I know
Yeah,
that he's already injured at the moment, and that's unfortunate. But I think for me, if I have to pick somebody up, and I'm using the criteria of big money, big club. He's got a good team now. He's got a good manager. So he's got everything for him to sort of prove himself. So yeah, so that's our pick. So I'm going with Nkunku. Nkunku. How do you pronounce his name?
and Kunku, Christopher, and Kunku.
Nkunku. Nkunku. And
Yeah,
you're going with Declan Rice. All right. So I guess
yeah.
it shows where our priorities lie. Just quickly before we wrap
Uh,
up this section of the transfer window, we've had a few managers comment. You've got a new manager in Poch. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, very positive, man. Very optimistic. He's not new to Premier League. I think under his management, Tottenham almost won the league, and it was Chelsea who stopped them. That 2-2 draw at the bridge, I remember, and Leicester won the league that year. They lost in the finals to Tottenham in the Champions League. So he comes with a lot of experience. He and that too he's managed a club in London, So I'm very excited. Young squad, attacking coach, and what I've seen in pre-season, we won that summer series the first time they had it. Not that it matters, but it sort of just gives the team a good confidence boost. It just puts them in the right frame of mind going into the big Premier League season. So yeah, I'm excited. I don't want to be too optimistic, but yeah, I think at least a top six is what we are looking for this season.
And what do you think about the Chelsea fan base? It's normally a very entitled, petulant fan base who wants the results immediately. Do you think they're going to? There's already memes going up, right? People preparing, like saying bye to Pochettino in September. What do you think?
No, not at all, not at all. I think I was watching the preseason interviews, and he said that uh, he is here to win, and he made it very clear. Unlike Potter, who said that yes, we will go on and win and all that. No, he's like, I am here to win, right? And this is Chelsea Football Club, so there is nothing else that we expect them to win. So I think his goal is clear, his plan is clear, and hopefully the team can support him in implementing whatever he plans. So yeah,
All
excited for
right.
that.
Awesome. And that's, I think, our reaction to the transfer market so far. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with some of the views that we shared? Who are you looking out for to be that signing of the season? Who's going to outdo? There are a few names. I think there's McAllister who's gone to Mud
Liverpool,
to
yeah,
Liverpool. Sorry.
yeah.
So I think again someone there to look out. But that's it on the transfer windows. And let's see what the season has to hold for us.
What? 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 What?